All right, so I just pressed. All right, so now we are officially live. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Make sure y'all, when y'all come in, y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share. Um, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe as well, and we'll get started in a couple of minutes. I'm trying to see who do we have so far in this chat. Let's see, Angie, Mark, Ashen. What's up? What's up? I'm also going to share this out on the community tab. If you are a part of the community, make sure that if you're not part of the community, make sure that you go ahead and text that number that's right there in the banner so you can get notifications every time I go live or every time I upload a new video, because you know YouTube be on that stuff when it comes to sending out the links or the notifications, I should say, to my videos and to my streams. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Letitia, Pinky JYB, Think Tank, Maximus Royalty. What's up? What's going on? JK, salute to you. As y'all can see by the title, there is a guest here today. I had him on my channel once before. I know we were supposed to collab, but it was a previous time before this, but you know, something happened and it wasn't able to work itself out, but we're making up for it now. Let's see, who else do we have? What's going on, Darlene? How are you doing? I hope everybody had a good Friday. I know my Friday was pretty chill, pretty relaxed. It was cold where I was at, or where I am, I should say, but the weather's supposed to be getting a little nicer this upcoming week. So I guess you can say spring is coming early, which is a good thing, especially since I'm a spring baby. So this is my type of weather. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this because no need to drag it along. So as y'all know, as y'all can see, I'm not by myself at the moment. I do have a guest here. Some of you may be familiar with him. Some of you may not be, but I had him on my channel before. Definitely someone who brings out great content, you know, talks about a little bit of everything with a specialty in sports via boxing. And definitely one of the realest people on this platform is, and definitely not afraid to tell it how it is. So, Tom, you can jump in at any moment.
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Glad that I could have you on today, because you know we had, like, I know, like I said before, we were supposed to collab a couple weeks ago, but something happened. It wasn't, you know, it didn't work out that way. And then we talked over the phone. What was it, a couple days ago? And you had brought up the suggestion that we go live this upcoming Friday or this upcoming week. And I know you have a lot that you want to say, because I have a lot that I want to say, and I think we probably be talking about some of the same stuff.
Hey, Torian, can you hear me?
It sounds like you're kind of breaking up. Hello? Can you hear me? I think Town is experiencing some technical difficulties. Or maybe it's a bad connection. I'm not entirely sure. But who else do we have here? J Dog, Tonda, Vulcan 2054. And make sure y'all stay around for towards the end of the stream because I have an announcement to make. It's more so towards that poll that I put onto my main channel on the community tab a couple days ago. Okay, so he had to go out right quick. So hopefully he can come back in. Let's see who else do we have in here. Craig, what's going on, Craig? All right, you back in.
Yeah, had to reset. I should be good right now.
Okay, cool. At first I was like, did you lose a connection or something like that?
Yeah, I just had to reset. Where I live at, it's a lot of dead spots. So,
Okay.
I moved to a better location in the house. So I should be good for right now.
Okay, cool. But yeah, we like I was telling the people earlier, I said that we talked on the phone a couple days ago about just some random stuff, and then you brought up the idea of us going live together this week. And I said I can pretty much just imagine what we're gonna talk about because probably some of the same things, and I already know which direction you probably going to head in, and I'm gonna be right there with you.
Well, I'll let you kick it off because I'm a guest on your show. So I'll go whatever direction you want me to go
Okay.
because it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and me and you only have so much time in a day to address so many issues. But we gonna make the best of it. So yeah,
Okay. Right. Um, so I guess like the first thing we can talk about, I mean, is the obvious and this anti-black propaganda that's been going out about black people from mainstream media via the Asian community, especially via the Asian American community, and how they've been putting out a lot of stuff about black people saying that we are targeting them or we are uh pushing hate crimes against them or whatever else, and all types of stuff that's just coming out. And me and you have been talking about this for the last couple of days on our channels. And I saw that video that you did that I think you was he saw someone in a shoe line, and it was an Asian person at the front, and he he was standing right there in the front of the line, and so that it was showing that nobody was messing with him, like they claim.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One thing about me, you know, why not prove it? Because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the end of the day, I like to blow people out. So I said, okay, I've been listening to this, and I was like, okay, this is just a lie. I'll say it's just another attempt to demonize black men and black women. And
Mm-hmm.
you would think the Asian community is much money has they made off of us over shit, what, a 50-year period. They make billions off the black dollar, which by the way, they
Mm-hmm.
don't give back to the black community. Is take from black and don't give back to black. And they've been doing that for years. But for them to sit up there and run a smear campaign, it just goes to show you who the real bigots are, the real racists are. And for them to sit up there and push that type of propaganda, it is just mind-boggling, knowing that at the drop of a dime, if we really pushed hard, we could shut them down. Because keep in
Yeah.
mind, they won't let them open up their businesses in the suburbs, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. But that is just America, capitalizing and benefiting off, the black dollar, but not, not giving back to the black community, but then at the same time not having any respect for the black community. So I took to the streets. So, I had more footage than what I put up, because it
Mm-hmm.
got to the point to where it was boring going to all these different places, and nobody not even thinking about them. I could have went to a mall and just that really would have blew them out the water. But then I had an Asian person come on my channel and say, "Hey man, this is not going on. This is just another attempt by lamestream media to demonize black people as a whole." And I decided, no, I'm not going for this. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
push back. And the sad part about this, I'm from Oakland, California, and I really got upset when I saw this rapper from Oakland, California by the name Mr. Fab. And y'all can look him up. He's from Oakland, California. He's from North Oakland, California. And I saw him with some rapper, some whack ass Asian rapper from like New York named China Mac, which by the way, I'm going to
I heard of
further
China Mac.
expose China Mac. So y'all look for that video. I'm going to further expose China Mac, but sitting up there making it look like black people going around attacking him. But Mr.
Oh man, he dropped off again, and right in the middle of the story. Aren't you back there? Tom, can you hear me?
Again, let me move to another location because I got something important to say because people really need to hear this. So let me give me a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go to another location and then I'm gonna get right back on because what I have to say is really important and black people really need to hear this. So give me a few minutes.
Okay. But yeah, power spying games. I had talked about China Mac on my channel before. It was a couple years ago. I forgot what he had said or what he did, and I knew then that that fool was not to be trusted. And then when you like look at pictures of him, like he lit like if you look at China Mac, he looks like the Asian version of Paul Wall. Y'all remember Paul Wall, right? That's what he looks. That's what he looked like, the Asian version of Paul Wall. That's who I immediately thought of when I first saw China Mac. And if y'all are just coming in, make sure y'all hit that like button and share the stream. Town will be back in a couple of minutes. He had to shift locations in his house because the signal he gets a good signal or a strong signal depending on where he's at in his house. So he's going to a location that has a stronger signal because he was getting ready. Really getting into it, and then and all of a sudden he fell off. But he basically has to shift locations, and he'll be back. What's up, HG Squeezing? And if anyone asks me a song by China Mac, I couldn't even tell you. Don't even come to me asking about that dude because I don't know who he is. Tana said it's those subway trains in this area making a reception bag. My aunt is from Oakland as well. Probably. I never been to California, but I do live near a metro system, but not near it. If you know what I mean. I could literally actually walk to my metro system, the one that's closest to me, and I have walked there before. But yeah. Not China Black, China Mac. Mac as in Big Mac. MAC. If you have a wrench and you are in my chat, y'all can, and you see a troll, y'all can go ahead and block them. Because if I'm engaged in the conversation, I may miss it. Is DC still like a fortress? I guess you could say probably yes, especially now with all this extra gentrification that's going on. But I don't live in DC though. I only work in there. I only work in DC. China Mac is this Asian rapper out of New York. What's going on, Tatiana? Stephanie said he's from Brooklyn. I mean, I knew he was from New York. I just didn't know which part of New York he was from. What's going on, Amara? Yeah, you're not missing much at all, Tina Thomas. Like you could have went through the rest of your life and not hearing that name. After today, that person would just be a blip on the radar for you. He said he has an interview with the Russian. Well, I don't watch the Russian, so I definitely wouldn't catch that interview. You wouldn't even find like you was to type into the search bar of my YouTube channel, you wouldn't even see China Max's name in the search bar for any reason. Honestly, I forgot all about him until Town mentioned him in a video that he did about him a couple days ago. I forgot he even existed. Craig said, "Is China Mac and Jeremy Lin the same person?" No, they're not the same person. I don't know. They're not the same person. You said, is he in Boogie? I don't think so. I wouldn't know because I don't plan on watching that movie. So why won't Jeremy Lin say who said that to him? I find it funny because one of two things: either he's lying and no one said it to him, or somebody, maybe who's PC, said it to him, and of course he's probably going to protect them. Because God knows if they were black, he would have said something. Especially since that seems to be the talk of the town right now. Like, I don't believe that what Jeremy Lin was saying at all. But I'm sure that when Town comes back in, that's going to be something me and him going to talk about. All right, he's back, y'all.
How's the sound? Can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay. Yeah, so I just went to a different location. Like I said, I live like where all these trees and stuff is, so a lot of dead spots. But what I was saying, Torian, this is just basically an attempt to take away attention from us,
Mm-hmm.
and it all trickles down to our new president, and then some other things. At the end of the day, like I said, a lot of these people that were sitting up there marching and hollering about Black Lives Matter, they really was studying us, trying to get intel. Because, like I said, I'm going to further expose the Asian community, from Juju Chang to, and particularly this whack ass rapper named China Mac. As I was saying, he brought his ass out to Oakland and linked up with this rapper named Mr. Fab. And I think everybody needs to express their disappointment in Mr. Fab because he has a history. He has a history of doing this. He has a history of not being on code. Drawing back from about 2013, there were these white trash rappers that called themselves the White Girl Mob that was from Oakland, California, so they say. And it was three of them, Little Debbie, Krayshawn, and V Nasty. But one of them, V Nasty, had just a slew of records where she was just saying the N-word like it was going out of style. A lot of rappers got at them and said, hey, y'all need to quit saying that on y'all records. And then Mr. Fab decided to put on his cape and try to justify them saying the N-word. And you know how I feel about people that don't look like us saying that word. And I've expressed that on several occasions. So he has a history of not being on code, but then he tries to link up with China Whack and try to make it look like and try to co-sign and holler in this, oh, we're all brothers and sisters. No, we're not. He has a history of doing this, of not being on code. And he's basically trying to solidify that. So basically the reason why I went to the Oakland streets and went to the mall in Emeryville, which by the way, Emeryville ain't nothing but, North Oakland. It's just a township of North Oakland.
And so basically I was in North Oakland, and nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, Taurean, was thinking about them.
Right.
Okay. Nobody. Like I said, I did a whole, I could have did like a whole little short 30-minute documentary. I went to like 4 different locations, Taurean. I went to the mall. I went to a couple of other places where nobody thinking about them. And I guess somebody saw my video, and he happened to be Asian, and he basically verified, look, man, I'm in LA. Ain't nobody bothering me. So it's just propaganda that they're doing, and then and them assisting, as you know, the clear people, and trying to demonize us, trying to make, of course, us the villains.
Yeah.
Trying to make us the oppressor. Like I said, once again, Taurean, nobody is thinking about them. Just because you have a couple of isolated incidents don't mean that black people as a whole, like me and you and one LBZ, we calling each other saying, let's get these damn Asians. That may be one isolated incident. But the funny thing is, Nightline, who did that hit piece, didn't talk about all the videos where you had non-blacks attacking them along with whites. They just had an Asian lady 2 weeks ago in Pennsylvania who got attacked by 4 melonless mutants. And why wasn't that a nationwide story? So but like I said, I got more footage. And then as far as China Whack go, I'm going to completely expose China Mac for his so-called activism, his so-called being Asian. I'm about to blow his ass out the water. But yeah, Mr. Fab, he got a history of doing this, and he need to be called out. So, I'm just saying it was drag. It was BS. Like I said, I can guarantee you, even if you happen to be Asian and you stumble upon this live stream, there is no black militia designed to strictly harass and attack Asians. It's a damn lie.
And they won't talk about the crime that's coming upon them from their own. Like that story I did, the one that you wanted, that I sent to you, the one you had asked me about the MIT and the Yale student, the one that the one who had, I forgot which one it was the MIT student that killed the Yale graduate, or was the Yale graduate? I forgot which one it was.
I think it was the MIT student took out another. I think it was the MIT student took out the Yale student.
Yeah. And those were two Asian men. And then when he killed him, like now he's on the run. I don't know what the update is on that. Like I haven't seen anything to say or allude to have they caught him or what the case may be. I said, shoot, he might be in China right now or Asia somewhere right now. Because I actually just typed it in. They still haven't. Yeah, they said that he might be hiding in the Atlanta area.
Okay. Well, like I said, I live in Northern California. California, period, has a large Asian population. So he could be here. He might be in San Francisco or Los Angeles.
Right.
Keep in mind, a lot of them have the resources to where they can get fake IDs and all that kind of stuff, and they can, so they have the resources to where they can like move in silence a little bit better than we can. Because keep in mind, Taurean, they're not going to look for him, go to the extreme to look for him like they would us. And that depends on what the circumstances is.
Exactly. But yeah, and the thing is that story right there is not even getting that much coverage. Like when I typed it in, the most recent update that came was from 4 days ago. And that was just to say that where he could possibly be at. And that was the last time we really heard anything about it. And they're not really talking about it. I've done stories too, and even have upcoming stories about how with the massage parlors and stuff like that, and how they've been running like prostitution rings in them parlors and human trafficking, sex trafficking out of there. And it always usually goes back to them. And it's usually them via the women who are the ones who are running those operations.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Well, first of all, Torian, they do a lot of what you would call different businesses out here. Now, of course, you know, Torian, they dominate the shoe market.
Yeah.
So, you know, and most of the people that dominate the shoe market is them. From them sending those, you know, having that multi-billion-dollar what you would call UA sneaker business. Then on top of that, they specialize. It's funny how they hollering that stop stop Asian crime, hate against Asian. But keep in mind, they run the human trafficking business. That's big out there. Not to mention the underage stuff. It's funny that you got people that make videos, you know, dogging out R. Kelly and you know and whatnot, but they specialize in doing that. You've seen movies like Street Kings and Kill Bill. They specialize in that. That's absolutely true. That they take little girls anywhere from the age of 8 years old and they traffic them. And then they traffic women and young children. You know, that was talked about. You know, keep in mind that was also featured on Lethal Weapon 4. Keep in mind what you see in movies a lot of time reflect what's going on in real life. But nobody wants to talk about that. But they trying to pull this, oh, you know, everybody is committing crimes against them. Well, what about the crimes that they're committing against each other? Because you know how they, you know, a lot of times they love to collaborate with whites and non-blacks. Whenever you hear about something happening with us via police violence or racism, what's the first thing that come out their mouth? Well, you know, and once you bring this up, you automatically then expose yourself as a racist, a bigot, or you know, a white supremacist. When we talk about issues with police brutality, once they bring up that, well, what about black on black crime?
It is.
You're done. You already didn't expose yourself. Well, what about Asian on Asian crime? So we need to start pushing back. I
said that on my Twitter account. Was it? I think like last week. I said we need to get ahead of this before it really starts to steamroll into the direction that they wanted to go in. I said I have no problem doing that. I know you don't have a problem doing that. People like Jason Black and Tariq Nasheed and Professor Black Truth and a few others that we listen to have no problem doing that. But we are still a very minority voice. Sure, we have a reach where people can watch us and listen to us, but it's not enough. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not seeing what's about to happen or what's occurring at this moment in time and how they're trying to set up this propaganda. Now, the thing that works in our favor is that they don't have enough of a propaganda machine to really back up a lot of their claims like PC does. They're just kind of hanging off of their machine without really using their own machine. So that's why a lot of stuff comes out every time they say something about black people and everything like that. You might find more stories that come out where it's not a black person involved, and then they just got egg on their face. But the thing is, it doesn't reach the masses the way that it should. It usually gets regulated to the internet. Like that story we were just talking about, the one who killed the student. That should have been a bigger news story than what it was, especially since he fled and they don't know where he is. Allegedly. I say allegedly because they may know where he is, just like they say they don't know where Kyle Rittenhouse is. They know where he is. They probably know where this guy is. But they're giving him protection.
Yeah, first of all, Torian, they know where Rittenhouse is. His attorneys know where he is. But they're pulling he doesn't feel safe. So the thing is, that's why I'm glad they have outlets like me and you and quite a few other people, the dudes that got even bigger outlets to basically expose these people. See, another thing, Torian, what they did is dangerous for us by, you know, I'm not done with ABC because I will be calling ABC and I'm going to stay on Juju Chang's helmet. See, here's the thing. Torian, we don't have to threaten them. The best way to get them is to hurt their pockets. And I want to tell anybody that's listening to this stream, I know it's gonna be tough, but sometimes you have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to man and woman up. You have to man and woman up. You have to just basically, you just basically got to have composure. Don't go to their restaurants. Don't go to their damn nail shops. Don't go to their beauty supply store. That's so funny, Taurean, that when you think about all this, they have a history of racism towards us.
Mm-hmm.
They have a history of racism. They just ran a story which I talked about how the Asian community has been, you know what I'm saying, blackballing, or should I say highballing black beauty supply owners by basically charging them extreme prices for their products because they control the hair and beauty industry. And basically they put black through the ringers. They put black men and black women who want to have hair products, you know, through the ringer. They either say, oh, we don't have this particular product, or they refuse to sell to them. But nobody talks about that. And that's a big story. They have a history of that. What about how they've been attacking black women over the years and their stores? Beating up black women. Where was everybody talking about that? Why wasn't mainstream media talking about that? But then the problem is you had black women that took their asses right back to the nail shop when they shouldn't have. So let's talk about that. They need to be boycotted. The best way to get them is hurt them through their pockets. Don't go to their nail shops. Don't go to none of their restaurants. Since they saying black people is causing them so much harm, you got to hit them in the pocketbook. And then you need to get them to come clean. Until they openly admit that, hey, some of these people is exaggerating. There were isolated incidents. Look, Taurean, they gonna always be an incident where you gonna clash with somebody that may not look like you. Is race gonna always be involved? Maybe. But are you gonna have a random incident where you just happen to get into it with somebody that happened not to be black? Of course. But for them to sit up there and say that, oh, we're just randomly going out seeking them because they're Asian, that's a lie. Yeah. That's a lie, and I'm not going to go for that. Flat out. I'm not going to go for that. We have enough people doing this to us, demonizing us, trying to vilify us. If black people got so much power as they try to pretend we do, well, then why are we in the situation that we in now? Why is there a lack of black businesses? Why did we have that incident in Baltimore, where you from, the DMV, where those kids are not going to school? They have horrible grade point averages. You know, I'm saying the school is just to the point to where it should be shut down. So if we got all these resources to do the stuff that they claiming that we're doing to them, well, where they at? Where they at? Because I'm waiting for them to tell me if we got all this magical power to just be going around attacking them. You know what I'm saying? Because keep in mind, Taurean, it costs money to go to war. That's what they need to understand. It costs money. And a lot of us don't have the resources to go to war. Because you know why? We're providing them with the resources to go to war because we're spending our money with them.
Right.
If we spent our money with each other, then we would have the resources to go to war. So it's once again, it's
and another reason why they don't want us to go to war, and that's another reason why they don't want to cut that check either, because we'll probably there's our resources and then some right there.
Yeah, and we're not gonna let them. And let me ask you this, Taurean, where's our so-called black leaders at? Since this propaganda been going on for the last week and a half, where's Al Sharpton at? Where's Jesse Jackson? Where's these other Negroes at?
They probably getting their nails done.
Exactly. Where
because you know they gotta have their feet all nice and done before their next march.
So I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I ain't heard from none of these dudes. Where they at? They didn't disappear because they could come out for anything else. But where's this at? No, we don't have no allies. It's none of this. It's none of this people of color shit. And to be honest with you, where do they get off aligning themselves as people of color when most of them are pale faces? Except for maybe what happened with Vietnam. And we already know when there was a lot of colonizing going on when they sent a lot of those brothers out there to Vietnam. But that's about it. But let's not make it look like they're really people of color, because we're not people of color. The only people of color is me and you, because we have melanin in us for the most part. So that's that's another thing. And that's another thing black people need to stop doing. You are not a person of color. You are black. We have to distance ourselves from being people of color. That's a trick. That's categorizing us, and we need separation. That's a trap. That is a flat out trap. We are not people of color. We are black. Do not put me in the same category with a Hispanic or Asian or another non-black, because we are not going through the same stuff. So you need to stop it. And that's a trick too, because what they do is, Taurean, when we start saying, hey, well, minorities need this. Oh, we did do this. You know, that's the trick they was doing, Taurean, when they started using the people of color, when we'd be saying, oh, well, hey, man, guess what? I got an issue with you guys. And I had to do this to my job. I said, you guys are not hiring blacks. I'm the only black you didn't hired within the last like 3 years. My job, Taurean, you know who I work for. I can't say who I work for, but I went through that. I went 3 years. I went 3 years without them hiring another black person. I saw them hire Indians. I saw them hire Mexicans. I saw them hire Asians, even though technically Indians is East Asian, but they still, and they like to be separated. They don't like to be compared with Asians. So I went 3 years. I said, hey, man, what's up with this? And they was like, of course, what are you talking about? I said, why ain't y'all hiring? And I flat out said it. Why ain't y'all hiring blacks? Oh, we did hire some minority. I said, no. Why are you not hiring blacks? And they was
that's the trick bag right there. They automatically like to
watch out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Taurean, I had to file a complaint against them. I filed a unanimous complaint, but they know it was me. And they tried to, retaliate, come with false write-ups and all that kind of stuff. People, when I'm asking for certain days off, giving the days off to people that got lower seniority than me and trying to play stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you asked for that. Yes, you did. I turned in the paperwork 3 times and I put it on the computer. You a damn lie. But yeah, that's one of the reasons. Don't say people of color. That's their little trick. That is a trap. And don't be afraid to say the word black. That's another thing they've been doing, is trying to shame you from using that word black. It's funny, Taurean, we are the only race that's shamed and frowned upon by not only just white people, anybody else. They got Chinese New Year. They got Cinco de Mayo. They got Mexican Independence. But as soon as you say Black History Month, well, Black History Month is racist. Black Lives Matter is racist. It's you shouldn't say black. You shouldn't say police brutality against blacks. You should say people color. No, blacks.
And they only say, don't you be wanting to meet them people that be saying that stuff online? I mean, the people who have all that online courage to say that stuff and write them all those paragraphs, especially on Twitter. Man, they be going in on Twitter. Like, they be writing these paragraphs, these long, lengthy paragraphs, like trying to come at you sideways and whatnot, especially when the topic of reparations come up. I said this. I said to any black person out there who has a quote-unquote white friend, or hell, a friend of any other ethnic group, hell, shoot, you might throw some black people up in there. Ask them what their stance is on reparations. And depending on what their answer is, it will determine how long you keep them in your circle. That is the litmus test. That is the litmus test for black people who have lineage here in America that dates back centuries. That is your litmus test from here on out. if you're dealing with other groups of people. Hell, if you're dealing with people of your own group as well, because some of them don't are real shaky with it as well.
I don't understand that, Torian. I'm trying to understand it, but then I don't. Even at age 46, I'm trying to understand, why do you have people that look like us that's speaking against reparations? Like I said, they've been given, the Jewish people got reparations, the slave masters got reparation when Abraham Lincoln so-called freed the slave, they got reparation. The Asians get a lot of them get grants to come here, and so do the Indians to start their liquor stores that they put in our neighborhoods. You know, those grants that they don't want us to know exist. But then that's what I'm saying. Why is it when we ask for something for black people, then it's like, well, wait a minute. Oh, I need to look into this. I need to do research. What research do you need to do?
Yeah, they love to do a study on us, like every single time. Like we like some kind of like lab rat that has to be tested on to be sure. I'm like, there's no study. Like, you didn't do studies with these other groups. You took one good look at them and boom, they got their compensation, and still for some of them are still being compensated. But then listen, I might do a video about that, because I actually posted that up as a tweet on my Twitter page a few days ago, and it's still making its rounds today. Like, it actually went viral. And wait, did I do a video about it? I might have, but I haven't uploaded it yet. I'm not sure. I need to go and look and see. But it's basically like, people, like how some people responded to it is exactly what I was talking about. And I made sure to include some of our people in there in that tweet, because some of us, like, will be against it as well. And sure enough, some of them fell and took the bait and fell right for it, just like I knew they would. I said, people today are so predictable. It's really hard for me to come across people who I have to really sit there and read to fill them out, because sometimes I can just tell what they're about upon what they are all about upon the first encounter.
Yeah, it's easy for me to read people too, because when you've been around, like, when you just been around a whole bunch of different people, like when you did a lot of traveling and stuff, because, sometimes my job send me out of town to go, go work at different places. So you always get a grasp of how people are and how they think. And then you like to study people. Like I said, we need to study them the same way that they study them. Study us. And that's the problem. Like I said, Tori, what have you ever seen an Asian person saying, I don't think they should give Asians grants to start businesses, because basically that would separate us? I don't see no Asian versions of or Hispanic versions of Herschel Walker or Larry Elder, but they sure can find some display Negro that think they speak for all of us.
And then swear they the smartest people walking. Like for instance, today I saw some troll come to my channel and leave a comment on the video I did about the coonstress like 2 years ago. I'm like, the only people that still comment on that video right now are trolls for the most part. And he was PC talking about, you're ignorant, you don't know what you're talking about. She's like one of the smartest people out here. And that's PC. I said, that's what you call dealing with fake and phony, because she's fake and phony herself. Anybody who comes out and says that this woman is intelligent, you automatically get blocked in the side eye from me, because there's not an intelligent bone in that woman. She's a good con artist. If you want to talk about on that level, she's a good con artist. That she is. I'll give her that. But intelligent, no.
And you notice that? Why is it that why as a non-black you would like or respect anybody that speak out against people that look like them? I would never respect, this is just real talk. Maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. Do you think I would respect a Mexican that spoke out against other Mexicans? Do you think I would respect an Asian that's constantly putting down other Asians? Now, I can understand you telling the truth about, what I'm saying that black people are not beating up Asians. That's fine. But when you sit up there and say, well, I don't think Asians should get reparation and because of my religion, what do like Herschel Walker said, is because his religion. So your religion is telling you that blacks should be in the back of the line, that blacks shouldn't get nothing, that we should always be in last place. Well,
Exactly.
I don't want no part of your religion then, homie. Real talk.
Exactly.
I
Herschel
don't
Walker
want no.
go to his country bumpkin, mumbling mushmouth ass down somewhere in his twirling sun. And speaking of his twirling sun, I saw this very unfortunately, I wish I didn't see it. Video that was on Twitter that made his rounds when he was doing some kind of dance routine or whatever like that. I'm like, this is who y'all choose to listen to? Okay, fine. This is who y'all take y'all tips from, is a guy who puts on these stripper heels and does a whole whatever he was supposed to be doing on that dance floor.
You do know, Taurean, if I'm not mistaken, Herschel Walker admitted that he has a history of split personalities. So there you have. I could have sworn it was him.
So what personality did we get at that HR 40 hearing? Which personality was that?
He probably the dude from the Dave Chappelle show, the black dude that was in the KKK, or Uncle Ruckus. But you know, Herschel Walker, that's his MO. Remember, look what Herschel Walker is married to. Okay, yeah. That's like that's like damaging evidence right there. So you know what I'm saying? That's damaging evidence right there. Look what he's married to. Yeah. So Herschel Walker,
I like how you said look at what and not look at who.
Yeah. Look what he's married to. So he has a history of doing this. He's been far gone, because I was looking at someone did a stream a couple weeks ago, right around the time when he was having the HR 40, when he was called on to do that, and they was literally doing a whole breakdown on Herschel Walker, like in his beginning stages leading up until now. This guy literally has been on that train before he became a professional athlete. Like, he was already there, and I think they said that he met with 45 back when he was younger, like in his early 20s or something like that. And it's like through that process, then that's when we got the Herschel Walker we see today. I said, so that's why he's always kissing 45's ass the way that he is. Because 45 was in his life almost like a father figure, because I don't think he grew up with his dad, like a father figure back in his early 20s, and he gave him some things. And that's why he kisses his ass so much. I said, now I know why, because I never knew why he did it. I'm like, what connection does he have to this guy? Now I know. Like, he's been around in the picture since he was in his 20s. And Herschel Walker is what, in his 50s now? He's like in his mid. Remember, Taurean, something else. I'm sure you're way younger than me, but I'll give you a little bit of history. Remember, for those who don't know, that's in my age range. Remember, he played for the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. And y'all know who Jerry Jones is.
Master Jerry. I swear Jerry Jones looks like a plantation owner. I would not be surprised if he lives on land that was stolen from our ancestors.
Remember, he played for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he started off he played for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if it was when Jerry Jones owned the team, but hey, maybe he felt Jerry Jones' presence in the air. Maybe he communicated with Jerry Jones. Maybe he communicated with Jerry Jones after he left the Cowboys organization. So I'm just saying. So he has a history of doing this. I remember when he was in college. That's how, I remember when he was in college. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He always was funny style. He always rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Based on how he talks and everything like that, like first off, this guy's in his 50s. And hearing him talk at that HR 40 hearing a couple weeks ago was so cringe. Like, that was one of the first things that I talked about before anything else, was how it sounded like listening to a child learning to speak for the first time, or learning how to read words for the first time. Like, I swear, it looked like he could have looked down at that paper that they wrote for him, because let's be real, he did not write that up. That was completely scripted by somebody else for him to say that, because that did not come from his brain. It looked like he probably was just looking at the paper and he pointed at every word that he was saying. And then on top of that, tack on the fact that he has that thick grits country accent, and he sounds like a mumbling idiot.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's some things that you need to remember. Like, once again, he was handpicked. You know, like I said, you notice this. Like I said, they never bring in no Asians to speak against Asians, but they sure can find a Herschel Walker or a Larry Elder on speed dial. They sure can dig them up, out of nowhere. Candace Owens, they can dig them up out of nowhere. But you can't find nobody that's gonna speak against their own people except us. And that's troubling when you think about it. When they want to say, see, this guy says you shouldn't get anything. Well, who cares what he thinks?
Exactly. Like, they try to make them out to be like they're supposed to be the lead, and those are the ones that
I didn't know he voted Herschel.
And those are the ones that PC try to tell us that we need to respect, or they're the leaders. Because you got PC out here trying to say, oh, Candace Owens should run for president in 2024. That's funny. This coming from the same group of people that probably was making fun of her son when she posted pictures online. I'm like, she's so stupid, but they said that she's so intelligent. I'm like, you gonna really want to run for president after they just said all that race stuff about your kid, a child that did nothing but just be born, and you want to run for president of this establishment, and you don't think they're not gonna come at you with more backlash?
Well,
she ain't gonna call that out though. I didn't hear about her, but see, the thing is, I blocked her on Twitter, so I don't know what she's saying. But I don't think she called that out, and I doubt she did.
Of course she didn't. Of course she did. It was funny. She spoke on. It's funny. She told us that racism didn't exist, but then soon as somebody said something about her son, then all of a sudden, I don't like this racism, and we need to address it. But wait a minute, lady, you said that it didn't exist, and
this is the same woman that sued her school over racism and got paid.
There you go.
But she has enough time to get on Twitter and talk about what the governor of Texas did, with the mandate and the mask and everything like that, and talking about, freedom and whatnot. Okay, like, I'm trying to figure out how is that correlated to freedom? Like, did y'all just get emancipated because you don't have to wear a mask anymore? You have the option to not wear a mask anymore. That's freedom now. Yep, I said the dumbing down of America just continues to get higher and higher and higher.
Well,
we can talk about that too, because I know you made a video about that, but I never talked about it. My take on what Governor Abbott just announced a few days ago.
Well, you know what, Taurean, I wouldn't exactly say is being emancipated, but I will say this much. I still wear my mask where I go and stuff, but at the end of the day, I do think, as far as where I'm at in California, how I feel about that. I do feel that I think that they did go extremely overboard with the precautions. Like I said, I said before that I thought that Governor Gavin Newsom could have found some common ground to where at least everybody was semi happy, but it got to the point to where it turned into dictatorship. Now, do I think, I'm gonna tell you right now, the same people that's talking about this guy, they're gonna probably, after a month, they're gonna say he a genius, because I'm telling you now, I expect places like Nevada, Mississippi said the same thing. Iowa and Wyoming damn near never mandated masks from the beginning because nobody goes there. But at the end of the day, I guess you could say, Taurean, is to each his own. that's all that I ever asked for in California, to at least let us have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you should. What I don't understand, Torian, the malls is open, but the gyms are not. I feel like the gyms are more essential than the damn malls. So
That's
I
because that
never, I
you
didn't
know why
understand.
because the malls um is more good on the economy than a gym because it has a lot of stores in it. A gym is like, okay, you just have that right there. The mall has way more stores, and then some stores are connected to very high end stores, high end type of stores that stand alone outside of a mall as well. So they was like, okay, what's more economically feasible, a gym or a mall? So it's like, bet we'll do the mall.
Yeah, and that's why everybody was puzzled. They was like, wait a minute, the movie theaters are shut down, the malls are open, the gyms are shut down, and you would think all the traffic that would be congested, running in and out of mall, you would think that would be a cause for concern. So then this is why people were saying, okay, this is why something is fishy with Gavin Newsom. Okay, he's in the pocket of the corporate companies. He's in the pocket of Walmart and Lowe's and all those big corporations, while you have mom and pop, because where I'm at, the Bay Area is really predicated on independent, businesses and stuff. So based off the fact that these local independent businesses were struggling, and some are to the point to where they had to close down and they're going to be permanently closed down, people was like, okay, well, wait a minute, man, this not making no kind of sense. So then as soon as they announce this, Texas is going basically 100% no mask, everybody is looking at Gavin Newsom like, hey, man, hey, what's up, man? Like, so this is why people, and then not to mention he didn't help himself when he got caught dining at a restaurant. So that instantly turned people against him.
I think it's safe to say, and I said this early on, I think it was more so after that incident. Gavin Newsom, you can hang it up for next year. Like, they are about to vote your ass up out of there, and they about to put somebody else there because they're gonna remember this. They not gonna forget this. The residents of California are not gonna remember this. Gavin Newsom, I highly doubt you're gonna get reelected. Like, I called that a few months ago. But also, I wanted to add on why I believe Governor Abbott is doing this. I believe he's doing this because he's trying to recoup that money they lost from that snowstorm, and he's trying to cover himself in that backlash with them power grids.
Yeah.
Like that, I said, okay, so now you do this, and then you do that a couple weeks after that snowstorm, and with the power grids, I said, okay, that's why he did it. Because if he wanted to do it, he could have did that before that snowstorm. If he really wanted to. But you do this after that. Coincidence? I think not.
I'm going to be honest with you, Torian. Remember, I was just out there in December. I'm driving in a rent-a-car on my way to the Errol Spence fight. I'm seeing everything open. I'm seeing the Chuck E. Cheese open. It was like you wouldn't even think no pandemic was going on. I'm talking about it was business. I'm talking about everything was open. I'm talking about places, Torian, where people didn't even have on no damn masks.
Yeah.
I didn't see pictures where people wasn't wearing masks anyway. So I was like, okay. So I get back home to California and I'm depressed because as soon as I get home, I go straight to the house. I'm like, wow. I'm like, so this is when I put two and two together. I was like, something is not right about this. Because at the end of the day, we all in the United States of America. Why? At that time, Texas was like 70% anyway. Now, starting on the 10th, they're going to be pretty much 100%. And you already know Georgia will follow suit, and Florida, who basically never shut down in the first place. So that's what I'm saying. This was all like some little scheme and stuff. And as far as
Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and I had got tested before I left. It was negative, of course. And then I got tested, and things. I went there for a conference. So in the conference, there's a lot of people there, and a lot of people there didn't even have their mask on. They had masks with them, but they probably didn't really have them on. I'll admit, it was a couple times I didn't have my mask on. They didn't really say much to me, or to us, I should say. But And in Atlanta, the CDC is there. So he's like, you got to still be a little cautious. I came back home because I had to fly there and fly back. Came back home. I took another test and I was negative again.
Well, remember, like you said, the Center for the Disease and Control, that's their headquarters. So, like I said, Tori, we could go deep into the whole thing about, whether this whole thing was overblown. Was this like basically a test for something else that could be in the works to see how, the next thing they may try. So you never know, because like I said here, it looked like, what I'm saying here, you can clearly see something is going on. But the funny part about it is you can see the frustration on people's face because they pass by their local 24-hour fitness or their Planet Fitness. They depressed because basically, Torian, the only place we could go is Walmart and back home. We can't go to the bar, and if we do go to the bar, we gotta stand outside. So this is why people, like I said, are really looking at Gavin Newsom and looking at our government, and it's like, hey man, this isn't protection, this is dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in some other places around the establishment, and I know like in the upper northeast, some of them places are starting to open back up. Like even some places like movie theaters and even stadiums are starting. And I knew the stadiums was coming because the test run was how it was with the NFL this season. That was the test run to see how they would be. And then when they had the Super Bowl, they had way more people there, down there in Tampa. And then when they was like, oh, they didn't really get any cases like that, or at least they didn't report any, then it's like, okay, bet. Now we can move forward and start opening the stadiums back up, like baseball stadiums, football stadiums. Start opening those back up, because what they're doing is like a slow recovery. So when 2022 kicks in, they're almost at full capacity. That's what they're gearing for. They're gearing up more so for next year.
Yeah, and Torian, can me and you both, we boys, and we could be honest, we knew. Mm-hmm. Me and you both talked behind the scenes. We knew that those sports leagues couldn't maintain to keep having games without spectators. The NFL lost $5 billion last year. Major League Baseball lost like $3 billion. The NBA is set to lose like $3 billion this year. The NHL lost billions of dollars and basically personal attendance, spectator. Me and you both know they can't make it. The Los Angeles Rams, Torian, as you know, built a $5 billion stadium in Los Angeles. Torian, guess where the Super Bowl is? Guess where the Super Bowl is next year?
In LA?
Yes. Los Angeles. You mean to tell me they ain't gonna find a way to have asses in those seats by the time February of 2022 roll around? They have to look, keep in mind, Stan Kroenke and Ann Walton, who's a Walmart child, they got to pay back that $5 billion loan. They put up $2 billion of their own money. They borrowed additional $2 billion from the NFL, and they borrowed an additional $1 billion from it. You think, Torian, how long you think Roger Goodell and them gonna wait to get paid? They want their money back. How long you think those banks gonna go before they be like, hey, we don't give a damn? So you're going to have to find a way to get people in those seats. So me and you already knew that wasn't the long-term solution, that the NFL and the NBA and Major League Baseball could keep going without spectators. If they do, they ain't going to have – if they do, they're going to be out of business within 3 years because they can't just strictly rely on the TV money.
Right.
So me and you both knew what was going on. So like you said, they just taking what you call baby steps. And from what I heard, the Super Bowl, they didn't really have no new cases reported. So they like, okay. And remember, Torian, Florida had announced back in December that teams could operate if they chose to at full capacity. So there you go. So there you go. And this is why, that's another reason why they ready to recall Gavin Newsom. Because they look like we can't keep this going. We lose. California has lost. When I say they didn't lost so much money on tourism and just random businesses, and they like, what the hell is this Gavin Newsom dude doing? So, like I said, Taurean, eventually, like I said, you're gonna start gradually hearing like things opening up. But the problem is, like you said, the damage is already done. Gavin Newsom's political career is probably pretty much dissolved. It's pretty much done. Because keep in mind, they was talking about this dude like possibly, making a run at the White House. And based off how he handled this situation, where he shut California down 3 times. And you know what they say.
The run for what house?
Huh?
The run for what house?
They was talking about him possibly running for president. Well,
That's funny. That's funny.
Well, no, I remember when he first showed up about 20 years ago, they was propping him up. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that's out the door. As that, like you said, this is gonna be a stain on his career, his political career forever, based off how he handled the situation. And when I say Taurean, people hate that dude. When I say people
I don't
hate,
even live in California and don't have to deal with him as a governor, and I don't like him. I will say this: what happened over the last year has literally gave me an insight to each state's governor, and I find that there's a major flaw in every last one of them. But him in particular, he has probably the most flaws.
oh, his approval rating is just like his approval rating.
I know that thing's probably in the negatives.
Yeah, his approval rating is just like, it's just to the point to where it's just like, I don't even think he has one. I think it's negative 0.6.
They probably, because they can't go any lower than that. They're like, damn, we're trying to get it in the negatives. We can't go any lower than that.
Yeah. So yeah, man. But yeah, Taurean, like I said, I got to get up out of here. But
Oh, okay.
But
well, I definitely appreciate you you coming through. Despite all the technical issues that happen, we definitely got a lot covered in today's stream.
Well, the fans asked for it, the people asked for it, so I said let me get back on here because, like I said, I got a lot more coming. I swear, I got a lot because I'm not done.
Listen. Oh, I already know. Like when you be coming with the heat, you come with it, and it's like I like when you do like your marathon style videos because I know you probably don't upload videos like a stream of videos, but when you do, it's like you just like hit them back to back to back to back. I like when you did it because I already know that you about to come with something, and like you said, me and you talk behind the scenes, so a lot of times I already know what you're gonna talk about before the people do.
Oh yeah, because like I said, I'm not done. Because like I said, I'm not done with Juju. I'm not done with China Mac because like I said, and when you see this video, when I expose China Mac, it's going to all coincide hand to hand because I'm going to link him to somebody else that you're going to be dying laughing about because me and you are both familiar with this guy and you just going to laugh your ass off. And this is going to be further proof of what we've been saying about this other individual. That Russian guy, that white guy that loves to get you to incriminate yourself.
Oh, yeah, the Russian. Yeah, the Russian.
Yeah, that guy. When you see this video that's coming out, when I totally expose China Mac, this is gonna be the end all be all. This is gonna be the drop the mic. This is gonna be like Taurean when you just spit a bar that's so vicious to where you be like, you already know the dude ain't gonna be able to come with nothing. So yeah, but hey, appreciate you having me on here, brother.
Okay, and also to the people in the chat, shout out to everybody who came through. If y'all have not done so already, make sure that y'all subscribe to Townbizz channel. That was his channel right there. That was in the caption Townbizz Sports and Media. And here's my announcement for everybody who is still here. I will say it more than once. This is in response to the poll that I did on my community tab on my main channel the other day. I had asked y'all, what did y'all prefer going forward with my videos? Did you want me to do 3 videos in a premiere? Or did you want me to do 4 videos with no premiere? And unanimous decision with like a 75% to a 25% vote, y'all voted for me to do 3 videos with one of them being the premiere video. So starting tomorrow, my videos will be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the 6 p.m. video will be the premiere video. What I'll probably do is I'll probably post it up on my community tab again after I'm done with this stream, because I know I have more eyes over there than I do over here. But I figured since y'all over here, I'll announce it here. So that's how it will be going forward. I just wanted to make that announcement, so people aren't lost and wonder, oh, why there isn't a 4th video. There it is. So with that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your day. It's still relatively early. I can tell the days are getting longer because it's 5:17 and it's not dark yet. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. My review for Coming to America will be up tomorrow. I watched the movie last night. I recorded the review today, and it'll be up tomorrow. So now y'all know what tomorrow's premiere video will be. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good and safe weekend, and I will talk to you all in the next one.